Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Higher Grounds podcast and today's morning minute meditation. Glad you tuned in today. And just a simple little thought today. In Numbers chapter number 13, we're given the very familiar story of the spies that went to spy the land of Canaan. Now, you know how the story goes. Moses got about 12 spies together. He said, look, I want you to spy out the land. Tell me what it's like, what the people like, what's it look like in there. So they went, and sure enough, they came back and they told him. Two of the spies said, man, let me tell you, that is a good land right there. It's full of milk and honey. I mean, the fruit's fantastic, man. We got this. God told us to do it. Let's go do it. The other 10 spies didn't have such a glowing report about the place. They went to the people. They said, look, yeah, the land's nice and all, but man, the people there, they're going to whoop us something bad. I mean, they big. They make us look like grasshoppers. Ain't no way we can do this. And in the end, the people almost stoned Moses and Aaron over the whole matter, and God had to deal with the people. And it was just a nasty situation, all in all. And, we ask ourselves, what's the reason for it? Well, you say, well, was it lack of faith? It was this, it was that. We could go over a list of reasons it turned out like it did. But at the end of the day, it had to do with words that were spoken. 10 of the spies said, well, God said this, but, we see this, so we're going to say this. Only 2 of them said what God wanted them to say about the place, and that's a pretty accurate statistic about today. The vast majority of us, when we say something, we end up putting our foot in our mouth because, we really should have just kept our mouth shut the entire time anyway. But you have to face the fact that if God has given you the ability to speak, that you're going to have to talk. And people are going to talk to you. And you got to decide, how are you going to let people's words affect you? And how are you going to affect other people with your words? You can't let people's words, stop you from doing what God wants you to do, like the children of Israel did with the spies. At the same time, you better watch yourself that you don't hinder anybody else from doing what God wants them to do, like the spies did. The story is told that over in Europe there was a peasant one day who told a very bad story about a friend of his and went to the monk and said, look, I want to know how I can atone for my sin here. And the monk said, here's what you do. I want you to get you a bag of feathers. I want you to go to every house in the village. I want you to put a feather on every house's doorstep. So the monk gave him the bag, and the peasant went out and he did what the monk said. He came back with the empty bag, said, I've done it. And the monk said, okay, now here's what you're going to do next. He said, now you're going to go back and you're going to pick up every one of those feathers off the doorstep and put it in your bag. He said, that's impossible to do. He said, the wind, it's already by now, it's blown away most, if not all, the feathers. And the monk said, so it is with your words. He said, try as you might. He said, you speak them in a few moments, but try as you might, you can never get them back, no matter what you do. We better make sure how we use our words in our everyday life. We might hinder somebody, or you might encourage somebody. It's up to you how you use your words. It's a simple thought, but I hope you have a blessed day.